the main issues that I have, non-reservations that I have for, because it's an alternative coin.
Yes.
It's an alternative coin, and we have very many alternative coin coming from the parent, which is Bitcoin.
Yes.
So one of the questions would be, how is your board constituted, and how is your talent, your team? Because for somebody to invest, because you have offered us an opportunity to invest in Kobo, something that appears to us as a Pan-African kind of concept.
Yes.
So for me, it would be, how do you present your board? How is your board and how is your team? What kind of team are you working with at Kobo?
Right, well the thing is, at Kobo there is no team, there is me. I have actually, everything you see that's been developed, the blockchain, the Explorer, the wallet, it's been me. Even though I have a full-time job, I've kept everything running. But the thing is now, with the collaboration with Bitsoko, etc., we find that there is a team for an African blockchain and also for African applications coming together. But this is something that I've actually kept surviving rather than allowing it to die, because along the way, over these years, so many cryptocurrencies have died, where I've actually kept it alive, because I said, no, at some point, Africa will adopt a cryptocurrency, and I want to make sure that the alternative is available.
Okay, the other question that I have, when you talk about any from these cryptocurrencies, or this one of technologies, we should have a community behind it.
Yes.
For example, if we talk about Bitcoins and everything, we had a platform like Reddit, where there used to be communities in Reddit. Yes. Where have you placed your community, and how do you deal with the community? Because I think as one person, you can't deal with such a community.
Of course. Yeah. Well, funnily enough, as you say that, there is actually a Kobo coin community, but the majority of the community actually come from China, the Philippines. Yes. So rather than African people being interested, the Chinese, the people from Philippines, Saudi Arabia, those are the people who are part of the community. Also Canada as well. So there is a community out there, but it's just that it's more the community that are aware of Bitcoin, who have actually seen the potential in the Kobo coin blockchain, and so have shown their interest.
Okay. Then the last question. You have told us about your mobile portability,
yes,
which is it's part of the core of your work.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask about how is the implementation of retail? Because when you speak about M-Pesa or anything, we're mainly speaking about retail. How is it for a person in retail, e-commerce or M-commerce, able to implement yours as a part of paying through using Kobo coins?
Right. Well, the thing is, Kobo coin as a blockchain is, I would say, it's a blank canvas. So you can write whatever you want for the blockchain, for mobile or e-commerce. What I have done is to create the APIs that allow you to interact with the blockchain. So for example, if you know JavaScript, we have a JavaScript API. If you know Java, we have a Java API. So that you can always, so whatever it is you want to create, you can actually create it and interact with the blockchain. We don't, like I said, the funny thing is, it's like, I don't own Kobo coin. All I've done is to generate the block, and it's out there. And then all I do as well is just to say, right, okay, somebody wants to write this application. How can they get access to the blockchain? What do they need? When Bitsoko contacted me 2 years ago, they said, we want the JavaScript API. I had to go away and suffer for another 4 days, 5 days, and create this API to allow them to interact with the blockchain. And that's how it works.
I think his question, maybe from a Kenyan perspective,
yes,
is the cash out option.
Yes.
Usually, that's where he was actually headed to.
Yes.
Because for it to make sense to Africans, like a trader, you need a cash out option. Even for it to earn trust.
Yes.
Like you see, we have Bitsoko, we have Bitpesa, those are cash out options.
Yes.
Maybe to grow it, we need to think of cash out options.
Yes.
That
is the biggest challenge, is the cash out option. The thing is, we're working on ways this can happen, but at the moment, we've looked at so many cash out options, but at the moment there's none that we can say is 100% guaranteed. Really, the cash out option is based on what happens at the exchanges where the coins get their value from. What we need is a certain amount of volume. That means that when you cash out, it doesn't affect the stability and the price of the coin. But the thing is, we are working on this, and these things, it does take time, but it's definitely something we're working on, and it will happen. I don't want to talk about what we are working on because we would rather it's successful before we release it, but we are discussing on those things. Sorry, I'll come to you.
Okay. You answer my question on miners, and please, perhaps you can also link it to if Kobo Coin also has a Phoenix supply.
Yes, of course. Right. Okay. This is the thing. This is the difference between proof of work and proof of stake. With proof of work, you get to a point where all the coins have been mined, and no more coins are going to be generated. So all you're then working on is transaction fees. But with proof of stake, we're working on transaction fees. But the thing is, what happens is with that reduction, because you're not actually getting rewarded for block generation, the incentive to mine is reduced, and it's very possible that miners stop mining. So this is one of the things people are discussing about Bitcoin, that once all the 21 million are actually emitted, will people still want to mine it? The difference with proof of stake, which is what Kobo Coin is built on, is that as long as you have a balance in your wallet, you will receive rewards for processing the transactions, or if the coins are still being emitted, because at the moment there are 24 million in existence. It's actually going to increase every year by 10% until it reaches 350 million. So I will be long dead by this time, by the time it reaches the maximum 350 million. Once that point is reached, then anybody who owns a stake and is actually staking their coins, which is you have your wallet open, so you're helping the transactions within the network, you will receive a portion of those transaction fees. And that's the difference. I don't know, maybe it's a bit too technical the way I put it, but that's proof of stake is actually, how can you say, it's, in my opinion, it helps secure the network for longer than just purely proof of work, which after a time, the incentive actually works. I don't know if that answers your questions, or if I just answered, if you want to have another question, it opens up. Or after, I can speak to you afterwards, and we can get into mine.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about what you think in relation to people. I mean, the general problem with cryptocurrencies as a whole, in that people are just buying them as investments.
Yes.
So buying them and sitting on them and waiting for value statement, rather than actually trying to utilize them for anything. And that's probably the thing that's happened with Ethereum.
Yeah.
What do you think is the solution around that and getting people to uptake it and use it, particularly when it comes to it?
Well, the thing is, I think the whole principle, that principle of a digital asset, I think in some ways that's Bitcoin's its own. And sorry about, like I said, I do love Bitcoin, but I can see the issues, some of the issues around it. In that I think people are waiting for Bitcoin to reach $100,000, $1 million, so nobody wants to spend it. With Kobo Coin, the difference is we are looking for applications where it's going to be used, so that people will be encouraged to use it rather than just hold it and wait. I suppose that's the only difference, that the applications that we are hoping to produce, actually people will be receiving Kobo Coins and have the ability to spend them, as they receive them, rather than, sort of taking them, holding them, and looking at the markets and waiting. I think I think also that will soon be phased out once people start using cryptocurrencies. The people who are holding them will then cash them in at some point, and then it will start. Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much.